Primero, mucho se habló de esto de subir de división. Con esta finalización, ¿qué mensaje tú quieres dar a las 185 libras?
Yo creo que la pelea fue un reflejo de todo el trabajo y de todo lo que pensamos para subir de división. No fue una decisión sin pensar. Yo y mi equipo pensamos de verdad porque eso parecía lo mejor a hacer para mi performance y eso es lo que pasó en el octágono. Me sentí muy bien toda la semana, todo el campamento y en la pelea hice lo que quería hacer. Pude pelear duro, Gastelum me pegó algunos buenos golpes y yo lo recibí muy bien, me sentí confiante. Cuando le pegué una mano se cayó, me sorprendió, pero creo que es de eso también. Yo pego muy duro y cuando estoy bien y mi cuerpo está fuerte, yo sé que puedo hacer cualquier uno salir del octágono antes de los 3 rounds, entonces eso es lo que pasó y sí, yo sabía que era la decisión correcta y ahora creo que todos saben también que eso se logró muy bien.
Justamente eso, tú no solo ganaste, sino como lo mencionas, hiciste un statement con una sumisión en el primer round. Preguntarte eso, ¿fue algo específicamente que salió para tu rival, Gastelum, o es porque se dio la pelea de esa manera?
La pelea se dio de esta manera. Gastelum es un gran peleador. Es muy difícil sacarlo del octágono antes del final. No es fácil finalizarlo o noquearlo. Entonces yo estaba preparado para 3 rounds, para una pelea dura. Yo estaba preparado para una pelea que de verdad sería una guerra, pero logré sacarlo ahí al final. Creo que faltaba menos de 1 minuto para el final de la pelea, pero sí, yo, como dije, yo tengo poder y cuando estoy ahí enfocado, soy peligroso para cualquiera.
I know you already answered some of these, but for English, I guess, just thoughts on the fight as a whole. I think you said in there that, a little surprised with Kelvin at the very beginning of the fight, but I guess just for as long as it lasted, just thoughts on the fight overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fight was a reflex of what I've been working, the move up to middleweight. I'm not sure if everybody understood why I was doing that, but for me and for my team, it was really clear that this was the best move right now for my performance, for me to reach the levels we know that we can reach and fight as we know that I can fight. And I think that was the fight. Gastelum is a tough guy. I was ready for a 3-round, because I know that he could take a lot of damage. He has a big heart. He fights till the end. So, yeah, it was satisfying to get him out, and finish, because I was focused, to get a finish. I wasn't rushing it. I was very patient, but, getting a finish and in the first round is so much more special.
I know Kelvin has fought at welterweight before, but he's had a lot of middleweight fights, famously fought for the interim title. I guess, did he feel like a middleweight when you were fighting there? Because obviously you train with middleweights, but it's another thing to actually have a fist fight in an octagon compared to sparring. So I guess, how did he feel at middleweight compared to expectations at moving up?
I think training and fighting is very different. So I'm not sure that I could compare him to my training partners. What I could say is I have, the best middleweights to train with, the strongest guys, the guys that hit the hardest. I have guys like Gregory Robocop. I train with him so many times. So, I got very good middleweights to train with. So I was completely comfortable with what I saw in there. And, I mean, he's a guy that hits hard, but when he hit me, I was confident. I was like, okay, I could take this. And let's go. Let's keep on working. I was seeing everything. And once he tried to grapple a little bit. It was, I did expect that, so I did get very ready for that. I brought in my Cuban wrestling coach from Brazil, Luis, to kind of keep me sharp in those things. And, yeah, overall I felt very good and very prepared for this division.
We've heard from fighters that move up in weight that it takes them a bit to feel like they belong in their new weight class physically. So I guess for you, do you feel like a middleweight, or do you feel like just a welterweight that stopped cutting weight at 185, if that makes sense?
I mean, it's a much easier weight cut, but I cannot say like it wasn't a weight cut. I still had a weight cut, and I stepped in there maybe 200, 201. So not, I don't think it's one of the biggest middleweights, but still, like, it was hard to go down to 170 for the last few years. So for me, it's just like I could perform so much better now in training, and that's gonna, obviously translate to the octagon, and that's what I wanted to do. I don't want to be the strongest guy. I don't want to be, the biggest guy. What I wanted to do is that I just want to do my best, and I know that this right now is where I can do my best, where I could use all my skills and all my ability and actually put them to work in the octagon.
How active do you think you could be at this weight class without having to cut all that extra weight?
Much more active, and that's something that I love about it. I've always, I had been a very active welterweight, and in the last few years, I was not able to keep that same activity because it was different weight cut now. So in middleweight, I can again start being active, and maybe get some interesting big fights and fill in if necessary. So I just want to stay ready and stay active and just keep on developing. And I know that I have a lot to show in there still.
I guess it doesn't seem like you took much damage in there. So I guess when would you like to get back in there, knowing you don't have to, get ready for this like grueling weight cut?
I don't know when. I know that I'm gonna rest up. I'm gonna enjoy this win. I'm gonna get back to work because I like my work. I like my job. I love to go, to the gym and stay focused. So that's what I'm gonna do now, and we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it will be soon. Maybe they're gonna offer me something big, and I can wait a little bit. We'll see. We'll see.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Vicente, any fights you like at 185? Any names?
Man, I like a lot of fights. I don't know, like exciting fights. Any fight that is gonna really, people are gonna look forward for that fight. Those are the fights I want.
And you entered UFC 327 on back-to-back losses. How relieving was it to get that victory? Because we saw it in your face. You had a moment where you can tell like a lot of pressure was lifted off your shoulders.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely pressure, and I think that when there is pressure, you either break or you just get harder. And this is what we did this time. We let pressure forge me and make me, even better than I used to be. So that's the feeling that was in there. I knew that I had to get through the fire, and once I got through it, I was gonna be where I needed to be, and that was it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vicente, congratulations. You were originally booked to fight Kyle Daukaus on this card. He gets the call for the White House. So what was your reaction when that fight fell apart? I
mean, right away, I had a new fight, so I was just relieved that I was not out, that I had a fight. That was the biggest thing. And when I look at it, I mean, good on Kyle, I think it's a very exciting card. I think that he's going to, get what he needs to out of that card. So good for him, and good that I had my fight and I did what I needed to do.
Well, who do you think wins that one, Kyle Daukaus or Bo Nickal?
I think it's an interesting fight. I think it's very evenly matched. I think that Kyle Daukaus, has some tricky things, and I would put him as the winner for me, but it's a tough fight.
Could either of those two be next for you, maybe?
For sure, yes.
And then last one for me. Tonight was finish number 15. That puts you tied for 4th overall in the UFC. Any possibility you can catch up to Charles Oliveira at 21?
Yes, all the possibility. I mean, I'm always in there to get finishes, and it's just my style. That's how I fight the best. A lot of times I've been asked, do you try to get the finishes? No, I don't try to get the finishes, but it's my style. When I don't fight, like if I fight to get points, if I fight to be kind of safe, let's say, I just don't feel like things are working out. So it's just the way I fight, and it happens to work that I get those finishes.
Vicente here. So are you surprised that Kelvin Gastelum made weight for this fight? And also, have you been practicing that Darce choke during your training camps?
Yeah, so the Darce and the Anaconda are chokes that I've trained ever since the beginning of my career. So they are my favorite moves to go. And I have, a lot of trust on those chokes. And I wasn't surprised that he made weight. I knew that maybe he wasn't going to make weight, or maybe he was going to make weight. That's kind of like hard to know. But when he did, I knew that he was ready for this fight. I knew that, he came in here and he really trained, and he's gonna show up Saturday night. So for me, it was just like, okay, I gotta show the best Vicente out there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Vicente over here. Your former opponent, Joaquin Buckley, he came to train with some of the guys at Kill Cliff, squash the beef, and just share knowledge. Did you get a chance to train with him the last couple weeks? And what was that like with having him at your gym?
So he was there this week, so it was fight week for me. So unfortunately, I was not at the gym, and I was not going to train now with him because of being fight week, weight cut and all. But it's awesome, to have a guy from that caliber at our gym. We're a gym that we have so much talent, and we have so many people go through there. So definitely, like, if he wants to be there and train with us, for me is like a great tool to have, a guy to learn from and just get harder.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Vicente, right over here. So you said you've been working on those Darce Anaconda chokes for your entire career. 4 of your last 5 wins come via those chokes, but you said you've been working on some changes to them with Wagner Roca. What have those changes looked like?
Yeah, so Wagner has just helped me adjust certain situations when guys know how to defend that choke. Obviously, everybody knows that I love those chokes, so they are going to work, defense for it. And I had struggled, especially in training. Guys at Wagner are the highest levels, at grappling. So obviously, I'm trying to get those chokes in there, and I'm not getting them that often. And Wagner started developing certain moves that just helped me, kind of trick guys going into the position where I need them to be so I can choke him. And that's what I use, because Gastelum was defending really well. He has a Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach. I could hear those Portuguese instructions, and they were working, so I had to do that adjustment. And good thing, that I was working with Wagner, and it paid off. Oh, man. Okay. Thank you, guys.